React was tough for me at the beginning to learn it, and it got me 1 year to get used to it, and now I love it. But recently React Fiber went live. And there is not only that, Facebook developers did refactor the whole code from scratch. Should you be worried about it? Let's find out. First of all, before explaining what React Fiber is, for those who doesn't know what React is, let me briefly explain. Basically, React is one of the most popular JavaScript frameworks developed by Facebook developers, and it is well known primarily because of the performance benefits. And React Fiber is the new release of React, or else they call it React version 16. For those who are familiar with React, the first question that it is coming to your mind when someone is referring to a complete rewrite of the code is this. Should I be worried that I need to learn again from scratch React's new version? Fortunately, the answer is no. As Adam Wolf officially said, React Fiber is a complete, backwards compatible rewrite of the React core. That simply means that if you are already using React to your applications and upgrade to React Fiber, you will not notice any differences at first, and there is no need to worry about rewriting the app. With that said, another question is also coming to my mind. Why React Fiber was built at the first place? There is no argue that React is very fast. React team, however, wanted to also take advantage of scheduling. So they took the algorithm of React one step further. As it's also written at the official documentation, React Fiber's primary goal was to create a library that can pause work and come back to it later, assign priority to different types of work, reuse previously completed work, abort work if it's no longer needed, and in order to do it, the only way was by refactoring the whole code. Now, if you didn't understand completely the goals, don't worry, as in this video we will explain later with a cartoon and an easier way all the goals that I did just mention. For now, the important thing to understand is why a refactoring of the whole code was required. What I was saying? Oh yeah. So why should I care? Or else, what is the key benefit of React Fiber really? The main key benefit of React Fiber is performance. As you can see at your screens, on left is React version 15 or else React Stack as they call it, with some very heavy calculations, and this is on the right React Fiber with the same calculations. As you can also see, in comparison, React Fiber is checking priorities, and as a result, we can see a smoothly transitioned animation for the final user. And I think we are now ready to go into some more details. So what exactly is Fiber? In simple words, the new version name is Fiber as the new algorithm represents a unit of work. As simple as that. That's it. So what is unit of work? Lynn Clark couldn't explain it better for me, so let's see it.
I've talked about this a little bit before. When you're building a website, it's kind of like your code is the project lead on this website. Unfortunately, it only has one employee. It only has one worker that's working to build this website, and that's the main thread. So the main thread is kind of like a full-stack developer. It does DOM, JavaScript, layout. It does all of the things. And as long as it spends time doing the JavaScript update, it can't do these other things. It can't do layout. And I've said before, when you use React, how it helps with that is it knows how to work better with the main thread. It's kind of like a technical lead that knows exactly how the main thread works. And so it makes the main thread more efficient in its work. It can direct the main thread in its work by minimizing and batching DOM changes. What Fiber does is basically teach this technical lead some basic project management skills, like how to split up work and how to prioritize work. And it also gives the technical lead a watch so that it can keep track of how much time has passed. So how do these new skills come into play? How do they change the way that the reconciler works?
As you did also see, React Fiber is splitting your tasks into many units of work in order to the main thread to always do what is more important to the user, such as updating UI rather than waiting everything to be done in order to update it. Okay, that's easy to understand, but we've already heard an unknown word. What is reconciler? You will hear a lot about the reconciler and reconciliation. And we cannot skip this terminology as it is very important to understand what Fiber is. Reconciler is the algorithm of React Fiber. It is the decision maker that will decide which task the code will run and when. And surprisingly, this is not new in React. We had a reconciler in React when it introduced the virtual DOM feature. We just didn't use this terminology that much as we were referring to it as the virtual DOM. And we are now naming the old React algorithm as React Stack. So if you see comparisons between React Stack and React Fiber, React Stack is basically the older version of React or else React version 15. Lastly, let's see from Lynn's presentation a more specific example of React Fiber so we can fill any understanding gaps.
Let's start an update and see how this is filled in. So to start the update, we click the button. This calls set state. When set state is called, React will add the update to an update queue, so a list of updates on the list. And then React goes to schedule the work that's going to have to happen to make this a reality. When set state was called, the app let React know that it doesn't need to have this happen. It doesn't need to do this work immediately. React can schedule this as deferred work, so it can schedule it to happen later. And to do this, it uses a function called request idle callback. This is basically like React saying to the main thread, let me know when you have some spare time and we'll do this work. For browsers that don't support request idle callback, React will polyfill it. And so when the main thread has some free time, once it's done with its work, it comes back to React. And it knows how much time it has to spare. So this could be a few milliseconds, or it could be up to 50 milliseconds if there are no frames scheduled in the near future. So the main thread has come back, and we're going to start building up this work in progress tree. And we'll fill it in with a function called work loop. The work loop is what gives Fiber this appearance in the timeline. It allows React to go down, do a little bit of computation, and then come back up to let the main thread get to whatever other work it needs to do. And in order to do this, it needs to keep track of two things. It needs to keep track of the next unit of work that it needs to work on, and it also needs to keep track of the time remaining it has with the main thread. So the React and the main thread get started, and they're going to start in this first pass through the work loop. They're going to start with the host root. With these priorities, what we want to have happen is for higher priority work to jump in front of low priority work, even if the lower priority work has already been started. And again, I think looking at this in context will help you understand how these priorities work. So let's say in the last example, instead of having that font resize increase, we have an urgent React update button. The user clicks the button, and this puts a callback in the main thread's queue. But the main thread's not going to take care of it until the deadline is reached, and when it is, then it takes care of that callback, which calls set state. Then React is going to add this to the list of updates. But because it's a high priority update, it butts in the queue. It jumps ahead of the low priority update that we were already working on. And this means that when React starts work again, it doesn't start on the next unit of work that it was going to, that it was planning to. Instead, it restarts with the host root, and it basically throws away all of this work that it's done. And then React will go through the higher priority update and commit. And then it will start back over again at the beginning of that lower priority update.
As a quick summary, everything that was just mentioned are happening at the background, so you don't have to worry much if you don't know every small detail of the algorithm. These were the basic information that we need to know about React Fiber before starting reading all of the docs about it and see some code. For some people it may sound too little as an information, but it's really really important to know all the basics before reading the details about React Fiber architecture. I was struggling a lot to find a video that explained in very simple words what React Fiber is, and that was the main reason that I did create one. If you want to know more details, I will definitely suggest to start with the talk of Lynn Clark at ReactConf 2017, as this video has every detail of how the algorithm works without too much code. And that's basically it, guys. I hope this video helped you understand some basics about React Fiber, and I hope you did like the video. As always, if you did like the video, don't forget to like the video below. If you did like the content and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe, and I will speak you guys to the next video. Bye!